Some reports suggest the RBI has started intervening again and that it has sold some dollars to defend the rupee. But the amounts were small and they could not prevent the fall. So now traders are expecting something bigger, perhaps a more aggressive move from the central bank. Because there is precedent. The RBI defended the rupee in February and then again in October. Then in the month of November, the RBI intervened twice. It sold large amounts of US dollars into the market. This increases the supply of the dollar, it brings down the value of the dollar, and by extension, it props up the Indian rupee. This is how the RBI steadies the currency. It intervenes to break one-way momentum and to remind traders that the rupee is not a currency in free fall. Now, most experts believe that another big intervention could be coming. Of course, there's a flip side to this. If the RBI sells dollars in large amounts, its currency, its foreign currency reserves will deplete. So it must make moves carefully. As for the rupee, the trajectory does not look good. This year, the rupee has lost over 6% in value. It's the worst performing currency in Asia. We've been reporting on this for weeks now, and we've told you the reasons for this fall. First, the exit of foreign investors. They are pulling money out of Indian markets. This year, they've withdrawn more than $18 billion. It's the biggest outflow India has seen, $18 billion. Now, how does this hurt the rupee? When investors sell Indian stocks, they take their money out in dollars. So they sell the Indian currency and they buy US dollars. This drives up the demand for the dollar and it pushes the rupee further down. So that's the first hit. The second factor is the trade deadlock. The US has imposed steep tariffs on Indian goods. Despite multiple rounds of talks, there is no trade deal between India and America. And no deal means no relief. So Indian exports face 50% tariffs in the United States. That means Indian exports become expensive for American consumers. Now, when things cost more, people buy less. So India sells fewer goods and earns fewer dollars. But India needs dollars for imports. India needs dollars to buy things like oil.
The vessel will go to a U.S. port, and the United States does intend to seize the oil.
That's the vessel the Trump administration seized earlier this month that secretly ferried U.S.-sanctioned Venezuelan oil. It may surprise you, but each year, roughly 1,000 ghost ships travel around the world to transport oil from U.S.-sanctioned countries like Venezuela, Russia, and Iran. They sail under foreign flags, change names, or conduct mid-sea transfers, all to evade sanctions. Over the past 2 decades, U.S. sanctions on Venezuela have grown broader and stricter, the latest round imposed in 2024. And currently, the war in Ukraine is one reason the U.S. is clamping down, with Russia avoiding sanctions against its energy exports with ghost ships, meaning extra cash to literally fuel their invasion. Earlier this year, German authorities seized a Panama-flagged oil tanker in the Baltic Sea that carried $45 million worth of sanctioned Russian oil. Meanwhile, China continues to be the leading importer of Iranian oil to power its economy, much of it routed through ghost ships. Yet another reason the U.S. is taking a deeper look into unfair trade practices and holding nations accountable for undercutting Western sanctions.
Hello and welcome to Eye on Africa on France 24. I'm Vila Gabahel, and here's the top stories from across the continent. The London-backed M23 rebels say they've agreed to conditionally withdraw from the strategic Congolese town of Vera at the request of Donald Trump's administration. Washington said the rebels' entry into the eastern town violated the recently signed peace deal. The Uvira offensive in eastern DRC triggered tens of thousands of people to flee into neighbouring Burundi. Burundian officials say the majority of refugees are women and children, facing acute shortages of food, shelter and basic needs. And a new report by the World Meteorological Organization found temperatures in North Africa were their hottest on record in 2024. But the rate of warming is accelerating alongside intensified heat waves, droughts and extreme rainfall. Thank you for joining us. Starting with our top story, Rwanda-backed M23 rebels have said that they've agreed to a request from the United States to withdraw from the strategic town of Uvira in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Washington had criticized criticised the armed group's seizure of the town last week, calling it a threat to mediation efforts. The rebels' entry into Uvira came just days after a US-brokered peace agreement was signed between Kinshasa and Kigali. Our correspondent on the ground, Emma Livingston, has the latest.
On Monday night, the M23 rebel group announced that it would withdraw from the town of Uvira at the request of the United States. M23 and Rwandan forces captured Uvira on December 10th in violation of the US-brokered peace deal between Congo and Rwanda. The US last week accused Rwanda of violating the agreement by backing a deadly new rebel offensive in eastern DRC and warned that the Trump administration will take action against spoilers of the deal. The M23 has responded by saying it will withdraw unilaterally as a trust-building exercise designed to help peace talks between the Congolese government and the rebels. The M23 also called for Uvira to remain demilitarized. The Congolese government has not yet responded. Whether the rebels actually leave Uvira remains to be seen. According to local sources on Tuesday afternoon, M23 fighters were still on the ground.
That was our correspondent Emmett Livingston there. Well, for more on this story, we have Samuel Baker-Biansi, investigative journalist from Rwanda and human rights advocate, joining us on set. Thank you so much for making time for us here on Eye on Africa. Now, this withdrawal is a significant development in the conflict in eastern DRC. Now, in your opinion, what is Rwanda's strategy here with this withdrawal from Uvira?
Well, the US did not communicate to M23 or call out M23 to withdraw, but called out Rwanda to stop their aggression to DRC cities. And I look at this from two different points. First of all, Kagame might be testing how far the US is willing to pressure him to really withdraw from the eastern DRC parts. And also, this withdrawal condition will not be easy to be implemented because if you talk about deploying of the neutral forces, it's not something you are going to deploy on time. It requires resources and a lot of time. And this delayed withdrawal that was supposed to be implemented, which is in the Washington agreement, and which buy more time the aggressors in this situation. And I think Kagame is trying to really figure out not really withdrawing from the eastern.
Fortunes were once built over lifetimes, but that of Elon Musk is being built in real time. According to Forbes, Musk has become the first person to cross the $600 billion net worth mark on the heels of reports that his SpaceX startup is likely to go public at a valuation of $800 billion next year. One valuation shift, one quiet deal, and hundreds of billions are added almost overnight. As the gap between Musk and every other billionaire stretches wider, the idea of a $1 trillion fortune is no longer a distant thought. In fact, it sounds surprisingly close. There's more on the story.
Elon Musk is no longer chasing the future. He's buying it outright. Earlier this month, SpaceX quietly did something very loud. A tender offer that valued the rocket company at $800 billion. Just 4 months ago, it was worth half of that. Blink and $400 billion appeared out of thin air, or rather out of space. That single move sent Musk's fortune rocketing by $168 billion. His net worth now stands near $677 billion, according to Forbes. A number so big it barely fits on a calculator. Musk is now the first human in history to cross the $600 billion mark. No one has even touched 500 before. This is uncharted territory. Billionaires used to be rare. Now, one man is rewriting the scale. The gap behind him tells its own story. Google co-founder Larry Page sits in second place at around $250 billion. Jeff Bezos is close by. But Musk is leading ahead of both of them by more than $400 billion. And the trillion-dollar question now feels less like if and more like when. SpaceX is planning an IPO next year, and Musk holds 42% of the company. investors whisper a valuation of $1.5 trillion. If that happens, Musk doesn't just reach trillionaire status, he blows past it. Even without an IPO, SpaceX has already become his most valuable asset, overtaking Tesla. Rockets, not cars, are now carrying his fortune. Tesla, though, is far from done. Musk owns about 12% of the electric car maker. That stake alone is worth nearly $200 billion. And even if that IPO fails, Musk's ambitions will stay on track. Tesla shareholders have already approved a new record-breaking $1 trillion compensation plan for the CEO. Then, there's artificial intelligence. Musk's XAI Holdings is reportedly raising money at a valuation of $230 billion. That's more than double what the company was worth just months ago. Musk owns more than half of it. Another engine quietly adding fuel to the billionaire rocket. Step back for a moment, and the speed is staggering. In early 2020, Musk was worth about $25 billion. By the end of that year, he crossed $100 billion. In 2021, he became the world's richest man. And came 200, then 3, 5, and now $600 billion. Fortunes usually grow, but Musk's has gone orbital. This isn't just a story about money piling up. It's about velocity, about ambition with no speed limit. Elon Musk is no longer measuring success in billions or even hundreds of billions. The next number in sight is 12 zeros. And if history is any guide, he won't tiptoe towards it. He'll launch straight through it.